Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Samp&Chance. I am your host, Bobby Sampson. Right below me or beside me, depending how you're watching this, is my man with the master plan wearing the Manny Pacquiao hat today. Chance, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I can't complain, man. Pissy rainy day, but then it kind of broke open and now we have some blue skies and sunshine. So,
Yeah, it's
I
nice
mean,
out.
it's nice. I'm happy with everything.
You too.
Wrestling, man. It's been pretty quiet for the most part. I guess it's the calm after
Yeah,
WrestleMania,
we just came off a big high, right? So it's gotta
right? So it's
come
pretty
down.
calm. There's I mean, we had Raw last night. Pretty standard Raw, I would say. I don't think it
Okay.
was spectacular. I don't think it was outlandish in any way. It was just a raw to me, to be fair, if that makes sense.
Yeah, in
Just kind
Seattle
of
too.
in Seattle. Yeah, it was that was the weird one. I knew
I
it
didn't
was
even
in
know it was
Seattle.
there.
Yeah, I did. I knew it was there. It's just after the other trips we've taken and stuff, sometimes you got to sacrifice something in order to
Yeah, you
go
can't go to
somewhere
every
else,
event. Yeah,
right? Not yet, anyways, brother man. I mean, that's the goal to be able to go to every event. But you know what?
absolutely.
The only way we're gonna get there is just keep working at it. But Monday Night Raw, thoughts overall before
Like
we
you
break it
said, I
down?
thought it was half decent, a little above average, nothing great. I'm looking forward to seeing Cody Rhodes versus Lesnar at Backlash on May 6th. So that's a really good match, really good main event. It was a standard Raw. I mean, it was nothing special, but you can't every do how many shows a year. Not everyone can be through the roof, right?
Well, no, and I mean some cool things happened here though. Let's not
Yep.
forget that, right? Let's just start off right off the top. We had Ray coming out to kick off the show. Now Ray's supposed to be a SmackDown guy, but he seems to be back on Raw again. Um,
Yeah.
but I guess after the draft, which is coming up here in a couple weeks' time, hopefully they'll kind of keep it standard again. We'll see what they do with that. But Ray comes out, he kicks off the show talking about, this, that, and the other. And Dominic comes out, interrupts him, back and forth. Dominic fumbled his words a couple times.
Yeah,
I
I was gonna
noticed.
say that the dirt sheet riders were hammering Dominic over that fumbled, unprofessional amateur promo that he did. I mean, it
You
was
know,
usually he's pretty good. It was just an off night. It happened, so I'm not
I
not a big
think
deal.
exactly. And I'm only bringing it up just to bring it up as a point of
I was
reference.
gonna
I
bring it
mean,
up if you weren't too. Yeah,
yeah. Like, I mean, there was a time where Roman was complete dog shit on the mic. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, I think everyone's average on the mic. There's no one outside of, say, The Miz right now, like active competitors, right?
Yeah.
In WWE, I don't think there's anyone better on the mic right now than The Miz, ever. Like,
Paul
just the
Heyman's
way.
pretty good.
Well, Paul Heyman, obviously, yes, but just as active wrestlers who cut their own promos and
Then I'd have to say
WrestleMania
after Miz and Heyman, probably Roman Reigns.
right now in the WWE, right?
Yeah,
I mean, well, Seth Rollins is
that's good. It's a few, but not a lot.
yeah. But I mean, top tier, like A class, Miz might be a B class wrestler, but he's an A class mic guy.
A class entertainer too. Yeah.
Yeah. So this sets up a match, Ray's basically saying to Dominic, why don't you come in here and fight me? Let's just, instead of talking, he goes, I'm not gonna fight you, but I know someone who will. Out comes Finn Balor. They have a cracker of a match. These two will
It
always
was
put on a good show.
so
Um,
athletic.
yeah, not a bad way to kick it all off. Unfortunately, Finn gets the win on this one with the coup de grace
Yeah.
after getting, after Ray knocks Dominic off the apron. Standard match. I think it's all good. I think things are kind of gearing up to see Bad Bunny and Ray versus Dominic and Damian Priest.
Could be. That'd be a good
So,
tag team. That'd be fun.
well, it's in
At
Puerto
Backlash.
Rico. At Backlash in Puerto Rico, Bad Bunny's hometown. I mean, I like to see Bad Bunny get in the ring again. I
Why
mean,
not? It gives the show a little more star power, right?
we always talk about Logan Paul and the athlete that he is. Bad Bunny didn't have a really bad showing either. In fact, he took a crazy bump there as well. So I
He's
like
pretty
to
good.
see him come back in the ring and see what he can do, right? I mean, if you think about it, since Bad Bunny came on, any kind of celebrity guy that's kind of come on outside of Johnny Knoxville, probably. I mean,
His hardcore match wasn't bad. They took a good beating. It was
no,
kind
no,
of
it was fun. It was fun. But
yeah, it
in
was fun.
terms of just like, what you look for, in terms of
Yeah,
an
yeah, yeah.
athlete,
Yeah.
Bad Bunny wasn't bad. I like to see
He
a little
raised the
bit
bar.
more of
Bad
him.
Bunny raised the bar. Then Logan Paul took it to another level. But Bad Bunny was good, and I hope he wrestles again. That
Yeah,
one move
yeah.
he played was sick. That pile driver that he did.
Yeah, yeah. And I think having, working with Ray and Dominic and Damien, I mean, working with Ray at least,
Yeah,
having him with him and whatnot, he's just going to make him look even better. So I think, Backlash is looking kind of
I was about to
cool.
say that this is shaping up to be a pretty solid card, man. Coming after me, usually Backlash is a downer pay-per-view after Mania, but you got Cody and Brock and maybe this tag match. It's gonna be pretty hot.
Yeah, let's talk about that one for a minute. Like, Cody came out halfway through the show. I mean, we just skipped half the show here for this, but Cody comes out, he cuts this promo about, first he apologizes to the fans for losing at WrestleMania. Fair enough, all that good
Yeah,
banter and what have you. And then he calls out Brock and says, Brock, we should fight at Backlash. Am I scared? Yes, I'm very
but I'll
scared,
still fight you.
but I'll still fight you. Wicked line. You know what?
That's wicked because it's honest and true, and I love it. I love that
Cody's
line
good. I love his promos. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, he's
because
not a
Cody's
miss.
putting some realism in it. He's not like,
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
scared of you, I'll beat you up. He's like, yeah, I am scared of you, but I'll fight you. I like that because most
yeah,
guys are scared of Brock, but they still fight him, right?
yeah. But here's
Yeah.
what I find really interesting is like there's no substance to this though. Like now we gotta wait for Brock next week. Why did Brock do this? Like he's just I was kind of looking forward to Raw this week just to find out what the fuck was going on.
Yeah,
But we didn't get anything. Like even from
no,
Cody, we got a match. We
which
know
is cool.
where this is headed, but why? Why did Brock do it? Right. And even when Paul Heyman backstage was asked about it, he bypassed the question completely. So it makes me wonder, is Heyman involved in this somehow? Is he going to be working with both these guys? It's like, it's kind of interesting. It really is
Yeah,
because
I didn't see this one coming. I didn't see this Brock Cody feud coming at all. Nobody's seen it coming. It
the
came out
only
of
feud,
nowhere.
the only feud that I saw for Brock Lesnar coming out of WrestleMania for SummerSlam or anything, I wasn't even looking past anything else, was Gunther.
Yeah. But I
I
think this is
thought,
better because Cody's better on the mic. For Brock, this will be a fun program here. Fun
no,
little feud.
it's gonna be a fun little feud. Now, does Country Brock come back as Country Brock, or do we get Army Cut Brock?
I think he's going to keep the long hair and the beard. What do you think? I
I
want to see
think.
I like the Army Cut Brock myself, but
Well, you're a
either
clean
way,
cut
he's still
guy,
a
brother.
bad dude, man.
No, he's a monster, right?
Scary.
He's very, very monster. All right, so let's go back to where we were in this Raw show. Yeah, no, I at the end of the day, like I said, Ray losing wasn't gonna hurt anybody.
No.
Not him, not anybody like that. If anything, it helps Finn coming out of the Hell in the Cell. You got to keep him relevant, keep him strong. Interference by Dominic, that's totally acceptable in this situation.
Absolutely.
This is just a great way to keep that feud going for the
Yep.
next couple of months. I think we'll get a crescendo or something here, like a cage match or something to
Yeah,
kind
there'll be
of
something.
wrap it all up, right? So there we go there. We go backstage and Lita has been beaten up. Oh no. Lita has been beaten up and they have a tag team match tonight, man. They're
Who
going
beat
to
her
be
up?
defending. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Did I ever tell you the story of Nobody Knows and Igor Lariano?
No, what happened?
So back in the good old days of hockey, when the Canucks were actually playing at the Pacific Coliseum, at that time when we were little kids, the Canucks had to park in the parking lot that all the people parked in.
Yeah.
They didn't have the underground or anything or the separate entrances. They all walked in, like they had their side door, obviously, but they
You can
parked
see them
where,
and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, they were very accessible, right? So I think this was somewhere between 89 and 91. I can't recall the exact time, but Igor Larionov, they were still playing at the Coliseum. This was near the end of their time at the Coliseum before they moved to GM Place. And there was Igor walking to the rink with his sticks, and they were playing the LA Kings. I won't forget that. And the Canucks were shit, like just
Yeah.
no different than they are now, but really, really bad in those days.
Yeah.
So Igor's walking by, and I said, Igor, who's going to win tonight? He looks at me, goes, nobody knows. Nobody knows,
Nice.
right? So ever since then, that's just kind of been this Igor Lariano thing I've always had in my head that nobody
That's
knows.
funny.
So yeah, nobody knows who beat up Lita. And we come back and there's an interview segment and Becky is saying that yeah, Lita's been hurt. She's at a local medical facility, but I am a fighting champion. She's like the female Connor, isn't she?
Seems that way.
The way she talks and everything and just her
Yeah.
mannerisms, like she's really taken after Connor a lot.
I think so.
I've been saying it for a couple of years, but just some of those kind of promos and things that she does, it's really evident. So she basically says, yeah, with the fight, I must fight, and shows up Trish. Here's Trish saying, I will work with you. We will defend these together. And we go straight into that match. Not bad at all. These
No,
girls
so
gave it all they
solid.
had. Basically, the end comes where Trish comes into the ring and she basically misses the chick kick. Liv rolls her up, and that's it. 1, 2, 3, new champions, man. I kind of predicted this. I thought this is the way to get the belts off of them because they
Yeah,
weren't
they
going to
can't
be
hold too
concrete,
long. Yeah.
right? Um, I I don't know why people think that Raquel and Liv are a weak team, considering that this woman is being billed as the next powerhouse,
Yeah,
and she's a former NXT champion. She's decimated everybody in front of her, like, as a good guy. Uh, and Liv is a former champion in her own right. I mean, I think people forget that she was world champion just not that long ago. So I think the victory was good, but I think the ending was even better. Lita turns on her. I called that, didn't I? I told you. I
she did.
think
Yeah.
I sorry, Trish will turn on them at some point.
Yep, she
So
did. Not deal.
um is
Or she's
Trish
gone
back?
for a while.
Is Trish back full time? Is like, you just don't turn heel and fuck off,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I
So
think she can do the big, like a Brock Lesnar kind of thing. Not all the time, but do some
no,
matches and stuff.
but it's a nice, interesting feud now. Now you got to heel Trish, and who hasn't been heel for years,
She's in
decades.
great shape for what is she, almost 50?
It's funny. Here's a funny thing. So little Miss Mitch watches wrestling with me all the time. And
Mm-hmm.
she never comments like, who are, she'll always say who her favorite wrestlers are and this and that. Um, but when it came to Trish, she goes, "Who's that, Dada?" I'm like, "Oh, that's Trish Stratus. She's so pretty."
She's aged well for her age. Unreal.
All the girls that this girl has watched in her 9 years of wrestling fandom, I guess you could say, maybe more so in the last year and a half, she's never said any of the female, like, not, I'm not saying that they're not unattractive, they're
Yeah, but
beautiful
this
women,
actually caught her eye.
but that caught her eye, right? And I'm like, oh wow, okay, like for 40 something. I almost feel bad we didn't go to that Vancouver Voodoo game now.
Oh, the meet and greet with the Vancouver
Yeah,
Warriors.
yeah. Or Vancouver Warriors. We should have gone. We should have gone. Um, when asked backstage why she did it, Trish just walked away. So another cliffhanger there. Why did Trish Stratus cheat or turn on Becky Lynch? I have my theory, and I'm willing to make my prediction on it. And I've
Let's
been
do
saying
it.
it. I think it's all to do with the fact that why did you pick her,
It could be. Yeah, that's a good way to
right?
go at it.
Or her saying it to Becky, not to Becky or more to Lita, like, why didn't you just wait for me? We could have won this ourselves.
Yeah.
Sort of idea.
Yeah,
I
no, I
have
think
a
you're right on
feeling
that. I agree with
it's
you.
going to go in that direction somehow. Just all the mannerisms. Like, if you think about it, Trish has done a great job. Like, you forget how old school she is. Like,
She's
she's
47. I just checked it. So I thought she's older, but only 47.
yeah, no, she's 47. But in terms of the tutelage and the people that she worked with, in her career, there are majority of them are all old school guys, right?
Oh, yeah.
So her ability to tell this story, if I'm right, like just from the get-go, from the time she came from to WrestleMania to now, she hasn't really said much on the mic,
That's true. Kind of just been out there doing her thing.
right? So that's kind of another interesting point, another talking point, like how come, she's never been able to say anything. So there you go.
Yeah.
Another, and I have a feeling at some point Becky and Bailey are going to become friends again. Why do I say that? Because we have a backstage segment where Bailey comes out from Adam Pearce's office and says that, hey, you know what? I just got a #1 contenders match. That didn't sit well with the other two in Damage Control, Io Sky and
Thanks for bringing that guy's name up, man. He's got to be the least entertaining Raw general manager, host, whatever you want to call that, in the history of Raw. He is just not cut out for that job. He is bad.
former NWA world champion Adam Pearce, my friend. You know what? I kind of like. I'm just gonna go. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I like it because it takes attention away from that side and focuses it more on the talent. The fact that you say it makes me wonder: is he doing it on purpose to be such
It's
a shitty
possible,
guy?
but whatever he's doing, he is so bad. It's just like, if you're gonna have a Raw general manager out there, get him entertaining, like Eric Bischoff or William Regal, somebody like that, or just drop the whole damn thing because it is bad. Nobody gets excited to see that guy come out.
But the thing is, he's not the general manager of Raw. He's just
What
a
is he, a host?
he's a WWE official. He's on both shows.
Yeah, I guess.
Neither show right now has
What's
a
his
general
official
manager.
title? What do they call him? Is Adam Pearce?
Adam Pearce,
official?
WWE official.
Yeah,
That's
gets him this a little
basically
bit
what he
entertaining.
is.
I'm not sure what Vinnie Mac is thinking of. That guy's bad.
Well,
Oh.
you know, Adam Pearce.
But
Adam
maybe you're
Pearce,
right.
man.
Maybe that's his job, to be mundane and boring, like Dean Malenko. Maybe, I don't know. He's bad.
Well, I mean, if he's getting pushed around by Chelsea Green, he's getting pushed around by everyone and what have you. Like maybe there's something they're building. Maybe there's something.
Speaking
we're
of
not
Raw
seeing
general
yet.
managers, who do you think was the best Raw general manager they've had in the last 20 years when they started doing it?
Ah,
I think William Regal was my favorite personally.
well, I mean, Regal was awesome in his own right for just the way he was and everything. But I probably would have to say, if it wasn't a real person, I thought that computer was pretty kick-ass.
Yeah, that was cool.
That
But pick a
computer,
person though.
well, apparently it turned out to be Hornswoggle, right?
Yeah.
Hornswoggle, man, was it? He not only was he Vince McMahon's bastard son, he
That
was
was funny.
he was also the Raw general manager that sat under the apron all night.
That's hilarious.
You know who I liked? I thought Mick Foley was fun.
Foley was good. Yeah, he's super entertaining.
I thought, to be fair, I like what Adam Pearce is doing, only for the fact that it became too much if he had a heel general manager, and it became too much if he had a face general manager. You know?
Yeah.
If you had someone like a Stone Cold Steve Austin who didn't give a shit about either side, that's the kind of general manager you kind of want, right?
But he's bigger than all the wrestlers though, so I don't know if that's a good thing. He was general manager for a little bit, wasn't he?
He was.
I think he did. But yeah,
he was, and he was fun. But I mean, I think everything can only run for a certain period of time.
What about your boy Brad Maddox? Remember him?
Well, I mean, outside of what he was doing with what's his name? Up,
Xavier
down
Woods.
guy. Xavier Woods and Paige backstage. I thought he was pretty shit. But yeah. I mean,
Bischoff was good too. Bischoff was good.
Bischoff was good. He just came
because he's coming hot out that big man.
Yeah. And he came off all that. You know, he was good. But ultimately, I think Regal was probably the best. He was best suited for it.
He was.
You know, he had the best facial expressions. He knew how to work it. He knew what to do. He was probably the best. Yeah, you're right.
If I could ask McMahon one question, I'd ask him one of these questions to McMahon. When you brought Bischoff in as a general manager, why didn't you guys have a match or a feud? That could have been really, really good.
Because McMahon would have kicked his ass just for
no, I know, but they could have made a big story about it. You know what I mean? Like,
I think McMahon has different ways of doing things with people, like to pay their receipts. Now, one, you know, I'm gonna bring this up because this kind of ties in completely with what we're talking about. Roman Reigns, if he put over Cody at WrestleMania, Roman had the ability to make him a megastar, but he didn't choose to. Now, back to what you're talking about. Did Cody lose because he fucked off and started AEW and
bashed the throne?
And bashed the throne and everything. And this was the receipt for that, regardless of all the good shit that's been going down.
I think it's part of it.
Right? Do you think?
Well, remember Sting? Remember Dusty Rhodes? Same thing.
Well, kind of thing, right? Like in a way, you're honoring them. You're trying to be respectful, but McMahon being Vince, you're still going to get your fucking receipt. Yeah, I flew down to Atlanta to talk to you personally to bring you back, right?
That don't mean you're going to get the belt and do all this right away either, though.
You'll get it, but you have to pay your receipt first. Very similar to Triple H having to pay the receipt for the curtain call.
Yeah.
Not Sean. Sean never paid shit.
Triple H did.
Hunter took all the blame for it. But back to what you're saying, by bringing Bischoff and Heyman into the promotion at the times that he did, and if you think about it, when was it Heyman? No, when Bischoff got fired, didn't John Cena throw him in the back of a garbage can or in the garbage truck? Receipts.
Take out the trash.
Yeah. Right? So it's not like he didn't disrespect them or anything, but he said, "You guys tried to fuck with me. Don't think I forgot. Here's your receipt."
Yeah.
Do you think that's an actual thing that happened with
Yes,
Cody?
absolutely, because look what Vince McMahon did to Dusty Rhodes. Put him in the polka dots. He was great at it. Put him in the black and yellow polka dots, made him dance around, made him goofy from the son of the plumber to that. Made a mockery of him. Dusty Rhodes pulled off a good gimmick, but Vince was trying to embarrass him. That's what I think. Same with Sting. He let Triple H beat Sting. McMahon could have said, you know what, Sting will get the W, but no, he told Triple H, you're winning.
Yeah, no, I mean,
You figure Sting would have got the W, right? But no.
well, I mean, I think in that particular match, Sting Triple H, I thought Triple H was
Great
the
match,
right
by
guy
the
to
way.
win. No, it's fun considering the limit. Well, I mean, I think they superimposed limitations. Sting can go,
Oh yeah,
right? He showed what he can do at AEW. Those guys had a hell of a match at WrestleMania that year.
that was Sting's last great match against Triple H. That was a great match.
You think so?
I think
Have you seen
so.
any of his work in AEW? He
Yeah, it's
hasn't looked
okay,
bad.
but no, he's not
He
doing
hasn't
bad,
looked
but he
bad.
wasn't like in Triple H, like that was like Sting in '98. Like he was jumping off the top rope, flying on the apron, like outside. Like he went hard, and they got NWO and DX. It was kind of cool how they did it.
Yeah, no, I had no problems with it. I had no problems with the
Great
result
entrance
either.
by Triple H and by Sting in that match
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Triple H was the right guy to win at the end of the day. I mean, how can you put Sting over? How could you at that show?
He could have got one of the NWO guys that popped Triple H upside the head or something like that, get him the win.
Yeah, but then you're a heel Sting.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, ultimately, you can't come to the biggest show of the year for the first time and then be expected to that would almost be disrespectful to Triple H.
Did Sting even get a win on any major pay-per-view?
Well, he showed up. He was fighting Seth, but then Seth hurt him.
Yeah.
Right? Seth's hurt a lot of guys.
Yeah, they say he's not very he's dangerous in the ring, some guys say.
That buckle buster.
Yeah.
That's
but if he tries on a guy like Brock Lesnar, then Brock Lesnar will stiff him real hard. He doesn't want to, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, first off, can you pick him up to give him a buckle buster?
Probably not.
Probably not, right? I mean, your moveset is very limited against a Brock unless he allows you to toss him around.
It's true.
Well, he does. Don't think about it, man.
I'll never forget that WrestleMania match. I heard Sting on a podcast say, was it WrestleMania? I can't remember. Yeah, I think it was WrestleMania, Brock and Roman. They were talking about the match backstage with Vince, Brock, and Roman, and Brock said, "We'll get out there. I'll call it as you see it." And then Brock threw him into the ropes, started shoulder checking him in the ribs, and said, "Now we got a match, boy." And then he broke his ribs, and then it was on. Like I don't think he meant to break his ribs, but it was a stiff. Roman's like, he gave it, but I gave it right back. Brock was like, I think McMahon told him, "Hey, see what this guy's made of. Rough him up a little bit, but don't hurt him." You know what I mean? Stiff him a bit.
I think that's how McMahon makes the super megastar, right? Like you think about, okay, everyone's complaining, but great point right here. Mm-hmm. Like what has Roman Reigns had to endure?
Yeah, that's the thing people don't understand. Like I heard him say with his own
where he is. I mean, first off, McMahon put him in such a horrible spot with John Cena that first time around, where Cena just destroyed him. Now, I don't think Cena's the kind of guy who would purposely do it, but he wants someone to take his throne. Yep. I've never seen a megastar look down and say, "Someone please come, take over for me."
Yeah.
The way Cena has, right? And if you look at what Roman has accomplished on the mic now, from that time to now, it's
pretty incredible.
He's done an amazing job. Like he's so much better on the mic.
Yeah.
And it's not even the mic, his facial expressions.
Yeah, his mannerisms, his movements, everything he does.
Everything he does now is just superb. And he had to go through that, I think, with John Cena. There's only two ways you go in that one, man. Either you come out smelling like roses and you fucking fight, or you're dropped.
Yep.
Right?
Well, that happened to Drew McIntyre. He took off for a couple of years before he came back. McMahon called him the next big thing or his next project or whatever. He was gone for a year or two.
Yeah. So. No, same with Jinder. Same with a few of them.
Where is Jinder Mahal? Where is he? Is he hurt?
He's in NXT, man.
Is he? Okay.
He's doing really well down there. Like, I mean, if you have three platforms, all three are great platforms for these guys. Because I mean, I think NXT is still better than AEW.
Yeah, I feel bad for Jinder though, because he's former champ, and now he's back on essentially the minor leagues. You know what I mean? It's like winning the World Series and saying, "Hey, Mike Trout, put down NXT."
Yeah, well, I think with Jinder, he came back looking amazing.
Yeah,
he did everything that he was supposed to do. India deal was imminent, right?
Yeah.
And at that point, we're not catering to North America. We're not catering to Europe. The population of North America and Europe combined maybe equal that of India's alone.
I don't even think that, but yeah, but I know what you're
Well,
saying. It's
well,
pretty
no,
close.
no, no. But okay, look, Mexico's got 60 million, right? Canada's
Something like
about
that.
60 million, so that's 120.
No, Canada's only 34 million, man.
Oh, okay, so 34. Say 35. Okay, so
Yeah,
95 there. Okay, so it's 95 million between Mexico and Canada, plus the 400, 450. Let's say 500,000 that are in the States, right?
yeah. No, the
So
state's got about 360 million.
okay, so let's say 400. Let's just say 400.
Yeah,
So 400 million plus 90, that's half of, and then Europe is what? Maybe 100 million combined? All of
something like
Europe,
yeah.
right? That's still, you still got fucking 40%
I
that
know.
India makes up. So, anyways, long story short, Ginger came back. They thought, oh, wow, he looks great. This is amazing. Let's put the strap on him. We're not selling it to North America. We're selling it to the subcontinent.
India. It worked.
And it worked. It worked. But here in North America, he's still considered
Jobber.
a low card, mid card at best, right? I mean,
Yeah.
he has his moments and what have you. Um, maybe there's another run in Jinder, but I think this is the best thing for him being down there in NXT. He's working with
He's
Veer
still
and
getting paid decently, so
oh,
make a living.
he's
Probably a
getting a
couple
main
100,000 a
roster
year.
salary. Oh, he's getting a main roster salary for sure, right?
Yeah.
And it's a easier schedule. And who knows? Maybe he'll come back up onto the
They'll
card.
give him one more run. Not for the title, but he'll get on the main card again one more time.
Now, here's the only problem with tonight's Raw. There were there were several rewrites, but not because of Vince McMahon or anything. Apparently, some of the talent had travel issues. They couldn't get into town. So,
Oh yeah?
yeah. So like Sami Zayn and Riddle, the returning Riddle again. I don't see how he ties into this, man. There's something
He
fishy
doesn't. They
going
just threw
on
him
here.
out there. They
Yeah, it
just
just
threw him
doesn't seem
there.
right. It doesn't seem
No.
right. I don't understand it. But anyways, Kevin Owens and Solo have a fight. Oh, the Usos also had a fight on this card as well, bro. Just so you know.
Yep.
They beat up the Alpha Academy, but the Alpha Academy looked really good. They really did look good.
I like those
Chad
guys.
Gable looked amazing. But Kevin Owens, he gets pinned by Solo after getting the Samoan spike. Fair enough. Good. I like it. It keeps everything balanced.
Yep.
Usos come in, start 3-on-1ing them. Next thing you know, Sammy's music hits and he comes out with Riddle. So were these guys flying together? Like, why aren't you with your partner?
I don't know what they're doing, man. That was silly. I don't know why Riddle. I guess he's had no choice but throw somebody out there. There goes Riddle, I guess.
No, I get the whole Riddle thing, but I mean, at the end of the day, why aren't you traveling with your best friend and tag team partner? Why is Kevin Owens at Raw and not you, Sammy?
Maybe they're not buddies no more behind the scenes as close they used to be, or they travel separate. I'm not sure.
Well, I
That
mean,
is
it
an
all
interesting
depends
point.
where he's coming from, though, right? No, not in a real life scenario. As a storyline thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm sure those guys were there, but it just didn't make any sense to me to see them coming out at the very end of the program to save Kevin.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know.
That
It
was
just
I didn't
something
get that
doesn't
either.
jive. Something doesn't jive. But anyways, that was Raw in a nutshell, man.
Bronson Reed and Bobby Lashley went at it.
Oh, yes. I wanted to touch on
liked
that.
it.
I actually made a note on it. When that match came on, I was cringing a bit, honestly. Cringing, no, because of this fact. I thought that Bronson Reed is the next big monster that you're trying to build. Why would you put him against the guy who kills monsters easily? Right? Like, because you need to push Lashley too. You basically fucked him out of WrestleMania.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Bray Wyatt. What a weird situation, man. I think it's
That's
best left.
weird. It's weird. Something there, man. I don't know yet. Nobody knows.
Maybe Vinny was right to kick him out of the curb a while ago, and maybe he knew something that we don't know because I don't know what's up with this guy.
Well, he's dealing with some personal issues. Hopefully he's okay. Hopefully there's nothing.
Yeah, I'm not wishing anything bad on him,
major.
but I mean, maybe
No. But if it's stupid, then let's call it stupid when we find out. Until we know what's going on, we just got to give it the benefit.
But his return definitely was hyped. It kind of fell flat overall so far.
I think a lot of people don't want to work with him for the fact that his storylines are just so fucking crazily insane. There's only a handful of guys in the industry that can even give him the kind of stuff that he wants. One would be Aleister Black.
Yeah, it was gone.
Right? He's the House of Black. He's ripping shit up over there. The other one would have been Matt Hardy.
Well, that's why Vince and Triple H need to tell him, hey, you got to tone this down. It's too wild, too wacky, too crazy. We can't get a good opponent for you. So you're gonna have to rein this in, and that's what you're gonna have to do. Or if you don't like it, you gotta go. You're gonna have to do something with.
They'll figure it out. They'll figure something out. I'm sure they will.
I like the guy, but it's just I don't know. Something's not right here with him.
His creativity is just at a whole different level than anyone else's, man.
It is, but I think they're letting him have too much of it because obviously, like his return was he had that fluorescent green match or whatever. Like besides that, isn't there anything since he's come back?
And that match
Kind of
probably made,
lackluster return.
as shitty as that match was, and as stupid as that match was, it probably made him the most money on that show.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. They have good sponsors and stuff, but
Right?
he isn't really like I don't know. He's not catching on like he was when he left the first time. So
And I
hopefully he
think,
gets it back.
well, let's figure it out. Let's see where they come from and how things happen there. But the
Yeah,
other thing was McMahon signed a new contract. Did you hear about
yeah.
that?
Logan, yeah, Logan Paul too.
Yeah, Logan Paul as well. He's Logan Paul signed for the year. I guess he goes year to year.
Probably.
He's scheduled for 5 dates. Right now, the way they're looking at it would be the King of the Ring, Crown Jewel, SummerSlam,
Mania.
Royal Rumble, and then Mania. I wonder how much he's making. There's no monetary figure put out there on.
I'm sure he gets a couple mil.
You would hope so, right? You would think so. So yeah, so that's Logan. But Vince had to sign a clause in his new contract that says he won't fuck around and do stupid shit.
No more banging babes. Yeah.
No. So that was one of the part of the deals.
You know what's funny? Of all the people that wrote Vince is selling it this, and this, nobody ever thought, hey, wait a minute. He's going to sell it to his friend, Ari Emanuel, who owns Endeavor Group. Like people, that should have been like the number one. But he's like, oh, he's going to Saudi, he's going to Peacock or NBC. He's going. It was brilliant of him to do it. Sell it to your buddy.
No, Endeavor was always there. People always thought Endeavor could potentially do it.
Smart.
But because they spent so much money on buying the UFC, they thought that their hands were strapped and they didn't really see how they could have pulled this off. But I guess when you have that kind of money and those kind of resources, it's not even money, man. It's all liquid. There's no physical exchanging of cash, and everything is liquid. It's just,
Yeah, it was a great deal, man. He made a lot of money. Like I said, he bought the company 82, 83 for $1 million and made 9.3 billion. That's pretty good.
No, good for him.
Yeah, but if he does any if he gets hits on any chicks or something crazy, he'll be out. But he won't do that. He knows better.
Regardless, I just thought it was kind of funny that they made a point of making that a story. That
Smart. I don't blame Mario Manuel. I'd probably say, hey, Vinny, you got to put this in here just to keep you in line, pal.
No, if it had to be done, it had to be done, right?
Yeah.
So
you gotta get rid of that mustache. I love that guy, but man, that mustache is brutal.
Oh, so the memes that are
why is he doing that?
I think that to be fair, man, I don't even know why he's colored his hair. Just be gray, Vince.
Well, I can understand the dye of the hair, but you've never ever had a mustache. You show up with a mustache.
And it's the worst looking mustache in the history of mustache.
It is. Is he doing that so we all talk about him and get his name buzzing? Is that what he's thinking? I don't know what he's doing.
What do you say to the guy? Man, you can't say nothing to Vince McMahon.
Can't Triple H say, hey, yo, Pops, get rid of that stash, bro. That looks terrible. Like somebody or Shane or somebody say it to him.
I'm sure someone sold him. I'm sure everyone told him. That stash is horrible. It looks crooked. It looks like a fake mustache.
I know, and this guy's got professional cooks and stylists. And they shaved it uneven. It's crooked.
Right, one side, this side's crooked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Okay.
That's what I mean. So he must have shaved it himself because no way a stylist they get it straight. They line you up.
But then again, Vince McMahon, he can, if anyone can rock a crooked mustache, it's that man.
Yeah.
Right? All right.
I don't know what he's doing, man.
I come across about 1, 2, 3 articles here that I think you would find interesting. One with Bret Hart, one with Kurt Angle, and who was the other one? I can't find it right now. Both these guys are talking about how boring wrestling is today.
I've seen the Bret Hart thing. I didn't see the Kurt Angle thing. Bret Hart saying you can't even watch it. It's so bad. And the only thing I didn't like about Bret Hart is he took a cheap shot at Triple H and McMahon. Do you hear what he said?
I haven't read the whole article, but
he basically said, and the guys who are running it don't know anything. That's another stab at Triple H and Vince. And he's still bitter still, even though they put him in the Hall of Fame. And he's still bitter about it.
But dude's still bitter. He's just bitter generally because he put down AEW too. He thought,
he's talking with Tony Khan too.
He's like the stuff that John Moxley's doing right now, like the close-ups of the eye gouging. There's a market for that. That's called the deathmatch market, right?
Yeah.
And I guess a lot of the marks on the internet, as we refer to them, are big fans of that shit.
Well, they love it.
Which is why AEW does those kind of matches. Myself personally, I don't find it appealing to watch a guy get gouged with a knife for fucking 4 or 5
No,
minutes. That shit that they did last week with the Blackpool Combat Club, um, against the Hangman Adam Page,
mhm.
when what's his face Daniel Bryan had that screwdriver in his hand and
Yeah,
he just kind of
that's not cool. That's not wrestling, dude. That's
that's not
going too
wrestling
far.
at all. No, no, not at
No,
all. I'll agree with some of what Brett is saying,
some of it, not all of it.
but not all of it. But I thought that was a really interesting take because we've been talking about this a lot, and you know,
But I would like to challenge Brett if I ever knew him, like in a nice way, say, Brett, you're talking down Triple H and Vince, but when you're doing 2 live shows every week, plus pay-per-view once on, not every show can be hot. Not every show can be entertaining. That's a lot of content. Just like your favorite sitcom, not every show, not every episode is amazing. It's not that easy. You know what I
if
mean? Have
if
fresh
any
ideas and fresh characters all the time.
if
It's hard.
anybody should know what it takes to do one of these, it should be him because he's been there since the beginning. If you think about it, Bret Hart's first WrestleMania, do you know when it was?
84, 85?
But do you know which number?
Three? Two or three?
WrestleMania 2. He was a part of the Battle Royal.
Oh, is he? Okay. Yeah, he's been around a
The
long
one
time, dude.
the one in Chicago, the Battle Royal in Chicago with the NFL players. That's when the fridge was there. 86.
86, yeah, Refrigerator Perry.
Right? So you think about it, he's been there since basically the beginning of WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
He's been there when Raw came on, when started. He's been there when everything was written by the poolside to where they got writers to a lot. So he should appreciate the process more than anybody else.
You'd think so.
You know, being bitter, I don't see why you would be bitter anymore. If anything, that made your name even bigger, the whole Montreal thing. Um, shame on WCW not doing the right thing and bringing you in the next night. Like they fucking dropped the ball on Bret Hart, man. WCW, that could have changed a lot of what happened, in my opinion, if they didn't wait 5 months to bring Bret out. The night
Yeah.
after that Monday after Survivor Series, Bret should have been walking out of it because he had no contract.
Mm-hmm. But some of that's on Bret too, because he always says, "Oh, Bischoff's an idiot. He doesn't know what to do with a guy like Bret Hart. Only Vince knows what to do with me." Okay, fair enough. Eric Bischoff is no Vince. Nobody is. However, there's other guys that came over, Hulk Hogan, all these different kind of guys. And yes, Eric Bischoff helped them. They just created their own stuff too, and the fans love them. So it's some of it's on Bret too, because the only entertaining thing he did in WCW was put on that metal plate. Remember under the hockey jersey?
No. I understand that, right? He got that, all that happened, and I hear what you're saying. I just think that they dropped the ball. And if you think about the minds that were at WCW that time in '98, you had Kevin Nash, you had Scott Hall, who were good minds, right? You had
Bischoff.
I think Bischoff at that point was too caught up in the character that he lost sight of some of the backstage shit, right?
I also don't think Bischoff viewed Bret as high of a star as Bret thought he was. I think Bischoff seen him as a bit above the mid card, but not on Hollywood Hogan and Sting's level. That's how I think Bischoff perceived him, because I hear him talk about him in podcasts. This is my take.
Yeah, no, and that's fine, man. But you know what? It doesn't matter where you are in terms of opinion. When something like Montreal happens,
yeah, I know they didn't capitalize on it.
They did not capitalize on it the way they should have. They should have had him come out Alundra Blaze style. You know, like did they put more effort into bringing her on and dumping the belt in the garbage, which was really pointless at the end of the day.
There's only one man that capitalized on the Montreal screw job, and that was Vinnie Mac. That's when Heel Vinnie came out, and then him and Stone Cold went at it. That was brilliant.
Dude, that's when everything changed. Like everyone talks about WrestleMania 14 and Mike Tyson. Yeah, that was a catalyst. Another catalyst was when Mick Foley won the WWE title that night. That was a huge catalyst. What happened was WWE basically took all those things and made it work in their favor.
Attitude Era.
And the Attitude Era was born from it. So yeah, absolutely. Vince knew what to do after that. He knew how to promote it. And that's what sucks for WCW, because if they had any sense, you would have had Bret out that night.
Yeah.
And
I could have really ran with that.
And we would be talking about maybe not, maybe wrestling would have turned out the way it is today. Right. But there's a high chance, there's a high possibility that we could be looking at a very different wrestling. WCW still could be here today.
Possible. Yeah.
Right. I think that's the biggest fumble by either company, any company in wrestling.
The Bret Hart Montreal story, they didn't run
Yeah.
with it.
They didn't
Yeah.
run with it, and Vince basically gave them everything to make a storyline,
Yeah, no, you're right. I don't disagree with that.
right? And so yeah, everyone plays a role, but
What did Kurt Angle say about wrestling? I didn't hear what he said. I only read a little bit about Bret. What Kurt say?
what did Kurt Angle say? You know what? I just saw that headline, to be
Okay, I'll
completely
check it out
honest.
later, but I'll check it out.
Randy, what was it? Oh, right. Sorry. It's all about stunts now, he says. Everyone's just talking about high spots. No one's working on character. No one, it's all about fireworks and the best light show coming down to the ring. But everyone just wants to do their high spots and their stunts, and no one wrestles anymore. No one puts the time in to tell the story.
Have a
No
great
one,
match.
but you know what though? I think that's more AEW than WWE. I'm not a homer for WWE. I'm a wrestling fan. But in comparing the two programs, you get better storytelling out of NXT than you do in Dynamite right now.
I totally agree. Speaking of
Right?
that, Jim Ross isn't even on Dynamite anymore. He's on Rampage. I'm surprised they threw him on there.
Well, he's old, and they figure that, to keep him going and what have you, the Rampage is more suited for him. Like he's
Well,
still
that and they probably want to bump the viewership up a little bit because Rampage doesn't get very good ratings sometimes on Friday.
it never gets good ratings, man. They're lucky if they get a couple 100,000 to watch their show.
I know. So maybe the thing to put JR on there, maybe some of the old fans will tune in. Hey, I know that voice. I don't know.
I don't know, man. Well, I tell you what, man. That's basically everything. We talked a little bit about Raw. We had a nice, friendly conversation about this and that.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the rest of this week, Mr. Michaels. I'm not going to say nothing right now, but guys, don't miss this Thursday's episode. Just don't.
It's going to be Brandon Iron Hot, as Dave Niehaus would say.
I'm telling you, man. I think after this, some people are going to need some stitches because they're just going to be banging their head against the wall at amazement of what's going to happen. Everything's lined up. Everything is beautiful. We're looking gold, my man. On that note, do you have a top five or anything for me to end the show with?
I do got a top five. I want to hear your top five favorite feuds in wrestling history, in your opinion.
Top five favorite feuds in history.
Your favorite.
My favorite. Well, I will have to say Hogan Andre tops the list only because I was still a little kid and I was invested as a little kid, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I wasn't smart to the business yet. So I didn't believe in Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny at that point in my life, but I still believed wrestling was real. Right. So for me, that was like, because Andre, come on, man. I grew up watching rock and wrestling, and you were,
he's large life character.
Yeah. So Andre Hogan would probably be number one, just because of the nostalgia and the childhood memories. Number two would have to be Hogan Macho. I mean, I think Hogan had some of the best feuds in the world.
Well, they say he's one of the greatest of all time.
Right?
Mega powers explode. Huh?
And plus, when you look at Hogan's feuds, they didn't last 2 or 3 months. They ran a full year with a full climax at the end. Kind of like what we got with the Bloodline and Sami Zayn this year. It's a kind of very nostalgia type of storytelling, which is cool. I miss that. I enjoy that a lot.
That was well done.
So Hogan Macho Man was one. Bret Stone Cold.
Yeah, good one.
Only because they both started at different places, but both guys became different people at the end.
Yep, that's fair.
We saw the evolution and the downsizing of both guys in a way. That Crimson Mask at WrestleMania 13, that's an iconic moment. I mean, that's just organic. How can you even question that? I was at the Raw after the Stampede pay-per-view.
Okay.
And where Stone Cold came out and attacked them when they were singing the Canadian national anthem in their Oilers jerseys. So
remember that. That's cool.
Now, here's something. I'll get to the rest of your list, but I only came to my mind. How can Bret Hart rock an Oilers jersey when he's a Calgary Flames fan?
Yeah, I guess he's basically saying any Canadian jersey I'll wear, I guess. But yeah, good point.
Okay. And I take that all the way back from 1997. Sorry, man. So that's 3, right?
Yeah, 2 more.
Yeah. Sean Brett, obviously.
Yep.
because it was legit heat. And at that point, now we started to get more information about what's really happening backstage. So this story was more compelling backstage than it was in the ring.
I think so.
But they put on some amazing matches. They
Iron
surely
Man
did.
match, one of the best ever. Yeah.
Absolutely. WrestleMania 12. And number 5, Rock and Roman.
Yep. That's a good one.
Those guys went back for about 3-4 years and just amazing matches through and through. I think, you know, in terms of a modern feud, that's probably the closest one that I can think of. No one really feuds anymore.
Not really. It's such short programs and on to the next, right?
It's a short program. It's just like no closure. I like the way wrestling looks. I would just change the duration of stories. I don't mind.
It's because they're thinking like, hey, the young fans nowadays, they got a short attention span, quick feed on to the next. They're trying to change with the times, I think,
Well, they
appeal to the people like our kids' age. That's what I think.
No. I get it completely. I mean, we live in a generation now of shorts and reels, right?
Exactly.
And I hate that because no one like I. It sucks that a child can't sit through a movie anymore,
No, they're too bored.
right? And considering it's like a cartoon or something like that, like you get bored. Like, how can you be bored?
Because everything they do is in short spans, right? We're programming the kids 30 seconds, minute, short spans on to the next. So
All right. Well, here, you know what? This is Samp's advice to parents. Get your kids off the fucking shorts. Let them watch YouTube,
I
but
agree.
nothing should be shorter than 30 minutes.
Yep, no, it's good
Because
advice.
long term, what's going to happen, bro, is when these kids get to high school, they have to start studying for exams. They're not going to know how to study.
No,
And I don't want
30-second study and they're done.
And I don't want a bunch of stupid motherfuckers when I'm retired.
Well, the way we're doing to the kids now, man, it's hard to say how they're going to turn out. I don't even know what's going to happen.
Well, brother, all we can do is focus on our own and make sure that we are okay for retirement.
Absolutely, well said.
Right? That's the only thing, man. So it sucks right now, but it's something that I hope my child understands, you know, as she gets older. Because my parents did this shit to me and I didn't get it till I was in my 30s.
Yep.
And that sucks. I wish I knew earlier. Right? But on that note, brother man,
At least to learn.
leave it. Yeah, we all live and learn, brother man. All right, on that note, my name is Bobby Sampson, and I'm joined with my man with the master plan, Mr. Chance Michaels.
And in the words of the great AC/DC, those that download, like, subscribe to the podcast, we salute you.
We do salute you. We salute you a lot. And in the words of Ed Whalen, in the meantime and in between time, that's it for Samp&Chance. Guys, have a great rest of your week. Stay healthy and make sure to tune in this Thursday because we're going to be dropping something really, 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 really cool. On that note, Samp&Chance out.